The sky grows dark, decay underneath. The ravens in the sky, and kings shall deceive. We have come into the night, thunder and rage and war a night. We have come into the night, thunder and rage and war a night. We'll fight for kings, for Ragnarok. Drink her up for Ragnarok, drink her up for Ragnarok, drink her up for Ragnarok. Welcome to Valhalla. Drink her up for Ragnarok, drink her up for Ragnarok, drink her up for Ragnarok. Welcome to Valhalla. I can feel it in my veins, the warrior inside of me. Drink her up for Ragnarok, drink her up for Ragnarok, drink her up for Ragnarok. Welcome to Valhalla. The sounds of arms, fierce morality, nightfall the rain, and the silence leads. We have come into the night, thunder, rage, and war a night. We have come into the night, thunder, rage, and war a night. We'll fight for kings, for Ragnarok. Shield wall. Drink her up for Ragnarok, drink her up for Ragnarok, drink her up for Ragnarok. Welcome to Valhalla. Drink her up for Ragnarok, drink her up for Ragnarok, drink her up for Ragnarok. Welcome to Valhalla. I can feel it in my veins, the warrior inside of me. Drink her up for Ragnarok, drink her up for Ragnarok, drink her up for Ragnarok. Welcome to Valhalla.
Hello, everybody. Welcome to the Seer for Week 9 for Valhalla Esports. I'm joined tonight by Jinao, aka Fox, as he has changed his name to, and Goat King Beard. How you guys doing?
Doing fine.
Fabulous.
So fabulous. I'm glad to have you both here. Shout out to Fox. Just won a tournament in a different server and won with the finals in Steam tonight. So, congratulations.
Thank you. Much appreciated.
For this week, we're going to be looking at games from Week 8, looking at the coming final week of the regular season for Week 9, and looking at some of the potentials for the finals. We have a couple teams we know exactly where they're going to be, and a lot of teams where a lot of random shit can happen, so we're just going to talk about it a little bit, so stay tuned. But the first series we'll be looking at is TGM versus HYG. We had Titan Gaming Box on the blue side, HYG on the red side. Looking like Titan Gaming banned away Silas, Jarvan, and Zaya. HYG took out Yone, Zerath, and Hecarim. First pick Senna, followed up by Caitlyn Urgot. Then the Trundle and Cassandre pickup, and then the Ashe. Titan Gaming took out Gragas and Mordekaiser. HYG took away Nico and Diana. Had the Alawi pick as the blind top. Had the Master Yi and Malphite to close out TGM. And then Malzahar to finish up the draft for HYG. How are we feeling about this draft for game number 1 of this series?
I personally like the side of Time Gaming Mox. They have the scaling. Unfortunately, I feel like they are lacking the AP damage. Just the only AP damage I see is Malphite. So I feel like it's a hard game to go through, especially with the Urgot and Alawi, but I think the draft overall is pretty balanced on both sides.
True, true, true. Let me fix this real quick. There we go. Alright. Yeah, I like the balance. Cassante Urgot's not bad for both sides. If Cassante gets ahead, he has that ultimate and kill potential. And then a lot of engage on the side of Titan Game Lux with the Malphite and the Son of Fall Up, along with a lot of damage. And then just kind of a lot of point and click CC with Malzahar and Ashe on HYG. So we'll see who took game number 1. Looking like Titan Gaming Mox took it. Sim Jim on that Master Yi. 16, 5, and 4. Just getting a ton of kills and doing work. Having 2k more than anyone else on his team. So, well played there.
That's an Ashe jungle.
That is
That
an
is an
Ashe
Ashe
jungle.
And an
Why are we
Urgot
playing?
support.
Why are we doing this?
HYG was out there to have a good time, not a long time, you know.
I mean, I'd like to say I respect it, but I'm pretty sure that's just trolling. So I'm good on that one. I do like the fact that Atomic also came in top lane with the 7, 1, and 5. So clearly won his lane into the Alawi, which playing against Alawi, it's a big boon.
Yeah, it's all. If you can dodge the E's on Alawi, you can have a good time. If she hits the E's, you're gonna have a bad time. So definitely having those happy feet. But we'll check out draft for game number 2. See how HYG want to switch it up. And this one, actually, I think Titan Game Box ended up needing a bunch of subs, or maybe 1 or 2, from game 1 to game 2. So they took more time than they're supposed to between games, so they end up having no bans. So despite seeing Lux and Kog'Maw, I think those are just random ones to go through the draft faster. But they found new players, got to play the game, and kept the series going. So good for them. They were missing their captain this week, which is sometimes a trend for Titan Gaming Box.
Unbelievable. I assume the Morgana has been Tage, right?
Yeah,
I would
most
certainly
likely.
hope so.
Yeah.
But HYG had banned away the Corki, Ori, Cassiopeia, and then Cassante and Seraphine. HYG ended up with the Silas, Nocturne, Kaisa, Yasuo, Lissandra. Tatum subbing box grabbed the Vi, Morgana, Caitlyn, Shaco, and Skarner.
I gotta be honest with you. I love HYG's draft here. They have the knockup from Silasy. They have Nocturne with the global pressure. The entirety of CC that is Lissandra, and then just the carry potential on all of them is real. And I think is that Silas support? I feel like that'd be Silas support.
I think it's Lissandra's.
They're
but he was
stealing your
AP.
groove, eh?
Either way, they're stealing from Beard, you know.
True though.
I do love the Lissandra support.
Yes, we do.
But yeah, on the side of Titan Gaming, despite having no bans, still getting some of the comfort on their side, and then just a lot of lockdown. You got the one point and click in Vi, point and click in Skarner, and then a Black Shield and Binding in the Morgana. So we'll see how they play
kind
out
of
this
feel like
game
that
too.
point and click is kind of important for their team, yeah.
And it looks like Titan Gaming Mox, despite not having any actual bans, taking game number 2. Well played to them. Vantage indeed on that Morgana, getting that comfort pick. Sim Jim getting a lot of kills and a lot of deaths on that Shaco, but making it work. As well as JFK Senior subbing in for game number 2. Appreciate all the subs jumping in and keeping the series going.
I really like the deaths in this game. They just scream, my type of games.
Right. 39 to 46 kill game. Looks like a banger.
Everyone on the side of Titan Gaming Box with 10 plus power spike besides the jungle and 80 carry. Love to see that.
They were just slacking on their deaths, really. But well played, Titan Gaming Box. Got the victory on the series. And series number 2 is Velocity Gaming versus Bomba Bros. This series was streamed, so if you didn't get to see them, check them out on the VODs or on the YouTube, and check out some of the League of Legends action we have there. Since they're streamed, we'll go through them a little quicker. Bomba Bros ended up with Zeri, Lilia, Rel, Olaf, and Syndra. Velocity had Ashe, Nunu, Morgana, Lissandra, and Trundle.
I didn't watch these games.
I caught game 3. I didn't see game 1 or 2.
I like Bomba's draft, I think. Olaf.
Yeah,
I like any team that has Olaf.
Olaf just got that ultimate not get CC'd. Syndra's got the scaling. Zeri's one of Fluffy's go-to, where you can jump in and try to pop off on team fights. So I feel like a lot of comfort for them. It was Velocity's week where they had grabbed Boo Satan as well as Eli Man, I believe, since they had the other 2 members have to drop from the team, so they were trying to have that synergy and get the wins. But we'll see how this game went. With Velocity taking game number 1, Eli Man 10, 1 and 10, huge on that Ashe. Halcyon also doing pretty well on that Lissandra, and Casual just doing work on that Nunu. I know in game number 3 I saw him again on the Nunu, and he was a very speedy boy with those snowballs.
You know what? I lied. I casted this game.
I definitely didn't see it. Wait, I was there.
It was a good game.
Well, do you remember what happened in game number 1?
I remember Eli just popping off in the random team fights that they were fighting in, and I think it was Evbot was winning lane pretty hard until Lima came in team fights and ulted Olaf, and then Olaf crumbled like paper. Yeah.
Happens sometimes.
Excuse my Canadian accent there.
Well,
No, it was a good game all around.
Well played to Velocity for game number 1. We'll jump into draft for game number 2. See how the Bomber Bros switched it up. Looking like Velocity ended up on blue side, Bomber Bros on red side. Velocity got Kennen, Varus, Zac, Nami, Atrax. Bomber Bros end up with Xayah, Nico, Zillion, Amumu, and Pantheon. So, a little bit of change up. A couple of champs banned away from both sides in this draft. The Ashe and Shaco taken away, as well as the Nocturne getting banned away in round 2. How you feeling about these lineups?
I like the fact that they banned out Boo because she picked round 4. And they banned Morgana, Soraka. But they left open the Yuumi. That's weird. It's weird, champ.
She had been on a Yuumi kick, but wasn't feeling it for these games.
That's fair. I personally enjoy Velocity's comp a little bit more. They have a mixture of everything. They have the CC. They have the hard team fighting. It's just a lot more cohesion. Whereas on the side of Bomba Bros, it's a little bit more scrappy and safe, I would have to say. Besides the Pantheon.
Yeah, I mean, Xayah's seemed like she's really strong here recently, and then Amumu has a really good team fight ult. But they do have the 2 kind of team fight ults on the other side with Kennen and Zac. But we'll see if Velocity closes it out or Bomba Bros forced game number 3. Looking like Bomba Bros did take the victory. Fluffy 9-0 and 13 unkillable on this Xayah. And then Dr. Derek and Bomba Evbot both having good games, as well as Delicious setting up the team. Looks like 5, 2, and 15. Just looks like they got some leads and were able to run with them and close out this game number 2. Looking like they had pretty good objective control, only losing 2 dragons to the other side, but getting all the rifts and the baron. So well played to them. And here
Okay,
for
game 3.
draft number 3, Bomber Bros back on blue, Velocity on red. Bomber take Zaya once again, said it worked game number 2. Why not do it again? Got the Syndra, Amumu, Surfing, and Camel. Velocity grab that. Nunu and Willen up. Nico, Nami, Vayne, and Tom Kench.
I gotta give this draft to Velocity, I think. Especially with the fact that their team has like one synergistic type of it's a go mode, right? They all have go, and they can just engage at any point and just follow up with any one of their kit. Where Bomba Bros are a mix of both engage and disengage, and some people just don't want to do what the others do.
Right. I
Yeah,
know.
but
It's all very much a go button from the side of Velocity, but there is a scaling for Bomber Bros.
and
So
Bomba Bros has Seraphine.
Yeah, but
true.
Vayne, you don't outscale Vayne.
Well, I mean, they've got Zaya, they've got Syndra, they've got Camille. Like in the side lane, at the very least, Camille. If you get to 2 or 3 items, no one can really
You
match
send
her.
Vayne against that. You send Vayne against that because when she E's, you E her. She's stuck to a wall. You bully her. Easy money.
Oh, easy. Well, let's see who had the scaling. And game number 3 went to Bomba Bros. This one I did get to catch some. Velocity actually had a very good control of this game early. You see, Eli Man got a lot of kills, 11, 4, and 3, but they weren't able to close it out, unfortunately for them. And then Bomba Bros were able to scale into it. And by the end of the game, Bomba Evbot on that Camille was using that second Q to half health basically everyone on the enemy team. Flame calling out, if Camille lets that happen, she bad. So calling out Evbot as not being bad. So good job, sir. Well played to Bombers, taking that series. We'll jump into series number 3, which is Donger Squad versus the Goat Kings. Beer, do you want to run through these ones as they were your games?
Sure. They first picked the Ash, which we actually kind of expected. So we decided to put our ADC on an APC with the brand. We grabbed the Graves for Deity in mid because it's just insane.
Because it's deity.
Pretty much, yeah. They countered with the Syndra Nocturne. We grabbed the Trundle. Then I grabbed the Soraka next round. They went Ziggs Alawi. And we counterpicked the Alawi with Set because Salt on Set. Good.
Good.
That does
Very good.
does seem
Much
good.
good. Such well.
It's fun to watch him play that champion. They banned out Deity, Swain, and Yon, my Seraphine. And then Salt's Mordekaiser and Ornn. We banned the Camille Ori Misfortune because I will never give Covert Misfortune. And then the Aatrox and Cassante. I liked our draft a lot better than theirs in this game, to be honest.
Yeah, seemed like a good one for you guys. Whenever you can give Deity that AD, he was playing mid, right? So you had a
Yeah.
Graves mid. Always nice to have because you can get that pretty free push into roaming, which I know he likes to do. The Trundle's nice. You can steal away any tankiness. In this case, probably from Alawi, but
Yeah.
in any kind of team
huge
fight.
fights.
And then just having kind of comfort on the top and bot lane is definitely helpful. So I like your guys' draft. I like what Dongers was thinking. It's a lot of what they like to do as well. The only thing I haven't really seen from them is the Alawi, but as long as their top's comfortable with it, I get the idea. But we'll see who took this game number 1. And you guys did indeed take it. The Salt 16, 8, and 7. Envy the Reaper 11, 10, 19, and then Deity 13 to 9 and 15. You guys just doing work out there. A long game, almost going to 50 minutes, but you guys had control of the Soul on the Dragon, as well as 2 of the Barons. So looks like a
This game
hard fought
took
one,
forever.
but you guys came out on top.
I'm loving
Yeah,
the 10 death power spikes.
it was a long game. I do remember that.
Yeah, definitely could have gone either way, but pulling it out in the end as we go into the draft for game number 2.
We got blue side for game 2. They kept the first same 2 bands with the Swain Young, but this time they didn't ban the Seraphine and went with the Grays instead. So obviously, if you leave Seraphine up and I'm blue side, I'm taking Seraphine.
Obviously.
We knew that they were going to pick the Ash Braum because, Braum's pretty good in the Seraphine. We went with the brand again and Trundle also. They final picked Zach the first round. They went Syndra Jax and Renekton top and Garen mid. Let's see.
Yeah, I wonder if they thought that was going to be flipped, where they thought maybe Renekton would be mid and Garen would be top. But can work either way. I know Garen does pretty well into Jax in general. Guys went with Comfort again. You already won game 1 with basically all 3 of those champs you first picked in the first round. So I like that. If it's not broke, don't fix it.
Yeah, my brother is very comfortable in the brand, and it allows me to pick basically whatever I want as a support.
Right.
So
Yeah, I feel like for Donger, if they want to win this one, they need big Braum shields to block your ultimate on the Seraphine. And then just Syndra to play safe and try to scale up against what could have been either Renekton or Garen, but basically say sit back, do your scaling, and we win later. But we'll see if they did that or if you guys were able to take the lead and win the game. And it's looking like you guys did take that victory. A low kill game, 13 to 9, but closed out at 30 minutes. Looking like Deity got a really big farm lead. Actually, Flame Horizoning Crispy Chicken. Salt holding zone against Mind's Desire. Well played there by him. And you guys did what you needed to did. Won out that game. How did the actual game play out?
it was a very methodical game. We definitely won through macro that game for sure. I do got to give Mont Blanc a lot of credit. He blocked a lot of my fucking alts.
Said, let me put my door in the way real quick.
That shit was annoying. I mean, I got a few great ones, but that fucking shield popped out. I'm like, you son of a bitch.
Right. Well,
thankfully, we did get a few good ones, in other fights. But yeah, I think just as a team, we played really well.
Yeah, looks like it. And Deity doing what he needed to do, just being that annoying Garen. And
yeah, he just as soon as he finished Hellbreaker, he just split pushed with Salt on the other side.
Nice. Well played to you guys. As we'll jump into Series 4, which is Night Raid Owls versus Los Nomades. Janelle, you want to run through these ones?
Yeah, sure. Looks like for Ben's from blue side, we got Poppy, Braum, and Amumu. Sorry, I'm blind. I'm not wearing my glasses. From Los Nomados, we have Oriana, Ash, and Swain. Looks like round 1 they picked up the Jarvan, which is a very good pickup, of course. Following round 2 for Los Nomados, they have a Thresh and Xayah, safe lane, very respectable. They just play for scale, obviously. Round 3, we got the Misfortune and Rel. It's a very kill lane. I like it. It's spicy. And then they finished off the first rounds with the Shyvana from Los Nomadas. So I'm thinking early stacking pressure for Dregs here. And then for round 2 bans, we got Aurelian Soul and Nico coming in the side of Los Nomadas, followed by Singed and Karma for the side of Night Owls. Smart bans, obviously. Looks like we picked up the Galio for a blind pick. I like it. I don't know if I'd blind it, but I like it. Night Owls follows up with Cassiopeia and Alawi, two strong solo laners, and then they finish. Los Nomados finishes off the draft with a solo lane Kale.
True, true. I agree. I like Galio as a blind pick. The only way you really get punished is if they have a good pick into the Galio, generally a more AD mid, but it kind of pinches what the other team's going to do anyways. So it could get countered, but I do like it as a blind. We'll see later. Another team used that Galio to good effect. And then also the Kale. Los Nomadas a lot of times does play for that late game, so having Reaper on that Kale makes sense to me. And as a pick, once you hit 6, you can be pretty safe against Alawi since you become ranged. So I like their draft a lot. NRO, getting the classic Jarvan on Kidbu, just a strong jungler. Looking for a lot of all in, it seems like, where you have the jump in from Jarvan Rel, the ult from MF, and then Cassiopeia to try to freeze people as well. They're just hoping they can kind of win out those team fights, and we'll have to see how this game played out. How you feel about it?
I personally enjoy the side of NRO's comp, but I feel like Los Nomadas' disengage comp and scaling wait until we get strong comp is probably the winner here, honestly.
Yeah, I think it really plays to what they like to do, but we'll see if they're able to disengage during that game. As it looks like they were. Game went to 28 minutes, so they didn't even have to stall out that long, and they had Modlock subbing in for them in the ADC role. Junie wasn't around, but they had their Season 1 AD carry in the wings, ready to jump in. And Bulgaria doing his thing. He's always trying to get objectives, even if it's not necessarily safe to do so. He'll try to sneak them, getting the soul without any dragons going the other way. 1-for-1 on the rifts, but they also got a Baron, so very much objective control, and looks like they just had a lot of support for each other as they took down game number 1.
Did they have a sub this week? Because doesn't Junie play for Los Nomados?
Yeah, Junie is normally their ADC, so Modlock was subbing in for them. I believe Junie was not available.
Gotcha. I mean, Modlock popped off this game, so it's a good trade.
Yeah, he was the original Los Nomadas ADC in Season 1 when they took the victory overall. So
Gotcha.
definitely has some comfort playing with at least Snurbopsy and Bulgaria, and was showing off his skills as a sub.
That's good at least.
Shout out to Mockingbird and Perfy. This week they got picked up by NRO, so they're trying to show their stuff in these last couple of weeks. They got traded right before the deadline by Kidbu. And we'll jump into draft number 2 for this series.
So for the side of NRO with blinding, we got a Mimu, and for round 2, they follow with Braum Sivir. Super smart lane, very safe. Once again, very scaling. NRO returns with Lilia and Callista, a little bit more aggressive, following with Los Nomados locking out their first round with Twisted Fate. For bans so far, from the side of Los Nomadas, it's Oriana, Swain, and Ashe. Nico, Alawi, following NRO's bans of Feather Dude. Can't remember the name. Someone help me, please.
Feather Dude?
Feather Dude. Feather Woman, I guess.
Zaya?
No, Zaya, thank you. Much appreciated.
Zaya was round 1.
Yes. Followed by Dragon Lady and Karma, finishing round 2 bans with Maokai Jarvan. So taking some of that power away from Los Nomadas, since they haven't locked in their jungle yet. And then we have the blind pick Mordekaiser. Love to see Mord. Always. He's aggressive, and I love it. NRO follows up with Gangplank and Shen coming in for their solo lanes with Los Nomadas last picking the Garen. How do you feel about these drafts?
I like it a lot. I know Snirbopsy's been spamming Twisted Fate a lot, trying to get comfortable on him, so it's good to see him pull it out for an actual game. Nightreed Owl looks like they were trying to do a takeaway in the Amumu from Bulgaria. That's one of his go-to junglers, and they had banned away the Shyvana, so he opted into the Mordekaiser. Kind of similar idea. I'd say it's slightly slower than the other junglers he likes to do, and a little less impactful, but can still give people free tickets to Brazil. So if you get ahead, you still can be that raid boss monster.
Gotta pay those taxes.
It very much depends on how the Gangplank and Shen went for NRO. If either of them get behind or just can't really contain their lane, I'm liking the side of Los Nomadas. But if NRO can get a lead and hold it, then I like their draft, and I think they just need to get ahead to control this game.
I feel like the Gangplank and Shen are kind of like a agreed pick, honestly.
Yeah, it's a little greedy, but if you get that lead and then you win with it, it works out. But you do need that little bit of a lead, I think. Like the Shen, it's not too bad. The spin will still hurt you, but you can dodge the Q from Garen. But again, it depends on how that lane plays out. It's not really hard favored either way.
True.
Got any thoughts, Beard? No.
Nope.
Sounds good. And we'll see who took game number 2, and it was indeed Night Raid Owls. Kidbu having a very good game, 9, 1, and 7, as well as Mockingbird, 8, 1, and 10 on that Gangplank. So he was
Greed
doing
pick
what he
worked.
needed to do, had the greed pick, but got to get ahead of TF. One of the weaknesses of TF is if you can punish him in lane. It's kind of how you want to punish him, since he's more there to affect the rest of the map.
Yeah.
Bulgaria not really able to get involved as far as kills, so potentially the ban's just being effective, getting Bulg off of the Amumu and the Shyvana, but we'll see how draft for game number 3 went.
And we got a Prime subscription from Boosted Sandwich.
Thank
30
you,
days of
Boosted.
love.
Appreciate the Prime subscription. If anyone else has one available, we'd love to have it. Help support the league, and we will love you for at least 30 days.
Is this draft 2?
This is draft number 3 for the Silver Scrapes of the series.
Gotcha. Good old Silver Scrapes. So Los Nomadas coming in with the Ash, Lilia, and Swain bans. They clearly didn't like the Lilia. And then Night Rodell following up with the Zaya, Dragon Lady, and Amumu bans. Also good to ban against Bulgaria for. The first round Karma with Night Rodell's second rounding Maokai and Gwen. So showing their cards pretty quickly with Kid Buu playing the Gwen in the jungle. Los Nomadas follows up with Braum Nyla with Night Raid Owls closing the first round of picks with Gangplank. To which Los Nomadas bans the Callista and Vayne, taking power away from Night Raid Owls' AD carry, Modlock. Night Raid Owls follow up with a Garen and a Jarvan ban, trying to take more power out of Bulgaria and the top laner for the side of Los Nomadas. Night Raid Owls grabbing themselves the Caitlyn, with Los Nomadas following with a Belveth and Nasus. And then Night Red Owls last picking with the Alawi.
Yes, sir. Night Raid doing a similar idea where they had one game two, and they were trying to keep a similar draft. So they picked up that Gangplank mid into the Karma. I don't know that matchup's as advantageous as when you were into the TF. Karma's a lot better at poking, so if Gangplank can't keep up with that, might fall behind. Kid Buu does like more of the scaling AP, so since the late was banned, went for that Gwen. He's just hoping to farm up and become a monster late. And then Maokai support, generally good, and a pretty good blind pick, so can't say anything really bad about that pick. The Braum, Nyla, you can kind of jump in on those two champs together, so I do like the dive combo. If you can get ahead, you can bully that Caitlyn, but kind of want to get that lead early. And then a lot of scaling in the jungle top lane with the Belveth Nasus. I think Nasus does pretty well into Alawi since she'll naturally push with the tentacles and Q slams of the wave anyways. So as long as you don't fight early and you hit your items, I like the Nasus in that matchup.
I'll agree. Yeah, I really like the Belveth pickup as well. I really like playing Belveth. I like seeing Belveth. She's a pretty all-rounded champion because you can build her tank, you can build her pure damage, right? It's like or bruiser. It's all on how you play as a player.
Right. But we'll jump into the score screen, see who took this series overall. And it went the way of Los Nomadas. The Nyla popping off for Modlock, and Ray was, who used to be Ray wasn't. But looking like he was jumping in, not taking any of the kills. The perfect support score line of 0, 0, and 10. Well played there.
Love that.
Perfect able to get off one kill throughout the game, but again, if you're allowing into Nasus never really has to interact with you, so I think Omega had a pretty good game there. And Bulgaria farming up as he needed to, doing that Belveth thing, and Los Nomadas securing the series victory. Well played to them.
Congratulations. Yay.
Now we'll jump into the fifth series for week number 8, which was Titan's Wrath against Ultra Lords. Here we had Ultra Lords on blue side, Titan's Wrath on red side. Ultra Lords took out Jarvan, Poppy, and Blitzcrank. Titan's Wrath take away Azir, Cassiopeia, and Ziggs. All bands that both teams have liked a lot. Ultra Lords first picking that Maokai. Very good blind pick, can go in a lot of roles. Titan's Wrath grabbing that Kaisa Nautilus, answered by the Jinx Braum, and then the Vi picked up for the first 3. Ultra Lords took out the Urgot and Alawi. Titan's Wrath taking away Garen and Darius, saying no to both the God Kings. Victor picked up for Titan's Wrath as a blind mid. Ultra Lords went with Jax and Syndra, and then Malphite to finish out the draft for Titan's Wrath. How are we feeling about this one?
Honestly, I'm kind of digging Ultra Lord's draft, but I respect Titan's Wrath's pick potential. They have a lot of if I see you, you die potential. You know what I mean? It's totally open to play through any lane for the side of Titan's Wrath, whereas Ultra Lords kind of want to wait until team fights to actually show up with the Syndra, with the Jinx, with the Maokai Braum, right? So it's a hard toss up for me, honestly.
Yeah, I'd agree. They do have a lot of safety in that mid lane with the Syndra. I know Kazuto likes those control mages, and to scale up. So Syndra's a pretty good pick there for him. Dutzo Centurion for the top. I think Jax is pretty well into Malphite despite the E, where he can slow the attack speed because Jax does so much mixed damage and just outscales Malphite so hard. Malphite's really just there for the team fight. So unless if Titan's Wrath can just hard win team fights, I think Ultralords has a very good 4-1 setup. But we'll see how it played out. Flame calling out round five. Round five Malphite makes me sick. You know, sometimes Malphite's just a play, but we'll see if it was the play here. As it looks like it was not. As Ultralords take game number 1. Mommy Senpai popping off on that Jinx. Halfling again having a perfect support score. Even better though with more assists with the 0017. And looks like Zabel and Delta Centuria just able to have a lot of impact on this map.
Oh, that's right. Hot Guy 4-pack was subbing for game 1 for the side of Titan's Wrath. I forgot about that.
True. I also forgot that was a thing. Hawkeye filling in. Thank you for subbing in. But the game going to Ultralords, controlling all the objectives as well. So well played to them. As here for game 2, Titan's Wrath grabbing that blue side. Ultralords on the red side. Titan's Wrath again took out Cassio, Azir, and Ziggs. Ultralords taking out Rel, Jarvan, and Poppy. Titan's Wrath this time first picking the Maokai, answered by the Jinx Braum, followed up by Kaisa Sona for the Titan's Wrath bot lane, and then Garen, potentially assuming the Maokai is going to be top, though it could be top or jungle. Bands coming out. Cinderace from side of Titan's Wrath, Graves, Viego from Ultralords. Have the Karthus pickup, and then Vex, Alawi, and Jace to round out the draft. How we feeling here?
I hate Karthus. If you pick that champion, I hate you instinctually. That's just how it is.
Much.
That's where we are. That's no, but I think
KB saying this game made me sad, so I can only assume that means you won, KB.
I mean, I personally like Titans Wrath's draft like 3 times better, especially since they don't have a Karthus on their team.
Yeah, I mean, Karthus always has that just innate, it doesn't matter if I die, because looks like it's the jungle Karthus, but you're just going to scale and do damage late game. Just have that kind of annoyance factor. Alawi, I would say, would do pretty well in Jace. Jace would have to get pretty far ahead just to poke you out. But if it's even, you get your hull breaker, you can just outlast him and out damage him into lane. Although you're probably against Garen, so that's my mistake. It was probably Jace mid. Kind of same idea with Garen though. Like you're not gonna out-sustain him because of his passive, but if you hit your E's, you can win that lane because that's just kind of how Alawi goes. You hit your soul, you do good.
True though.
This one, the big thing is just kind of keeping Jinx down. If Jinx gets a large lead, then just have that hyper carry. I feel like Sona Kaisa could do alright into it, but we'll have to see how that went. And we'll jump into the score screen with definitely no spoilers from KB. Where, Ultralords did take the victory. What a surprise. Looking like Kazuto just farmed up very well. Not getting a ton of kills, but getting 160 plus farm over the Vex. Just kind of ridiculous in that standpoint.
Yeah, for sure, especially since she didn't even reach 10k gold. But I mean, I can't really blame her, because I assume that probably they played around Kazuto in the jungle with the Karthus, considering how many kills Karthus has.
Right.
I think that it's overall a good draft from both sides, except for the Karthus. Karthus can go away. Kazuto, though, he's just always been that player that, just plays safe, farms until he's a big champion, and then, murders you your entire bloodline and your League of Legends team. So
they also did a very good job controlling objectives this game as well. Getting Soul, getting 2 Barons, and only ever losing 1 Dragon. So playing controlled League of Legends, controlling a
And
map.
Kazuo still had 10 CS per minute.
Oh, of course. Kazuto just too cracked.
True though.
We gave him a chance, and now we're just gonna have to say, hey man, you gotta be more expensive, my friend.
I
But
could see it.
well played to them, taking game number 2 as we jump into the final series of week number 8, which was Stoner Nation against Kraken Slayers. Here in game number 1, Poppy 100% ban rate. I mean, people kind of know you as playing Poppy KB. I don't know if it's for some reason.
Are we talking about the one trick Poppy player or what's good?
Something like that. But Star Nation's on the blue side, Kraken on the red side. Starting to took out Silas, Swain, and Ash. Kraken ban away. Have you seen my Maokai win rate? I've seen your Maokai against my champs, KB. So how about that? Kraken Slayers banning away the Yone, Jarvan, and Maokai. First pick of the Zaya, again a very strong ADC and very safe. We picked up the Ezreal and Rakan. They grabbed Sejuani and Emilio, and then we round out first 2 picks with Ornn. Star Nations then banned away Trundle and Aurelion Sol. We banned away Jax and Akali. Grabbing the Belveth. Star Nation grabbed Camille and Galio, and then the Echo to round out our draft. How you feeling about this draft for game number 1?
Oh, Beard, you got any input?
I actually really like Stoner Nation's draft. I love the Zaya Emilio combo. Camille is just a menace. I don't like Ezreal Rakan in the bot lane. I think the Zaya Emilio has better synergy than that. Outside of that, I don't really know the matchups for the other lanes, but bot lane alone, I definitely would take the Stoner Nation bot.
Stoner Nation, Camille wins out against Ornn, and Echo wins into Galio, depending on how you play it. If you play it well, at least. Otherwise, it's a skill matchup. And then for the side of jungle, I do believe Belveth wins into Sejuani.
Yeah, I think Belveth has to farm up some. My idea for this draft, being on Kraken Slayer, was I'm against Flame, who ended up on Camille, but I'm on Ornn, so he's probably going to beat me, but I'm hoping my team can do something on the rest of the map. So my hope was to enable them. And I'll let you jump on the score screen and see how it went. Where Stoner Nation took game number 1, Flame going 6-0 or 11-0-6. My apologies. Keanu also unkillable, 1-0-8. Really, everyone on their team playing very well. 6-2-6, 4-2-4, 1-1-10, all very good score lines. So playing very well. Game number 1, just kind of got that lead. Controlled objectives and took down game number 1. We just kind of fell behind, and once Flame was big on the Camille, couldn't really do anything about him.
Yeah, honestly, draft gap kind of hit hard here.
But we'll jump into game number 2, see how we adjusted to hopefully maintain our always going to game 3 strategy. Here we had same sides, Stone Nation banning away, same champs in the Swain, Ash, Silas. We took out Yone, Jarvan, Maokai. They again first pick that Zaya. We picked up the Sivir and Rakan. Just again didn't want to give over the lovers duo. They kept Emilio, who is just a very strong support still, and picked up that Fiddlesticks for Keanu. And I grabbed myself Garen. We banned away Camille and Kale for the second round. They took out a Soul and a Nocturne. We picked up Udyr for the jungle. They grabbed Gnar and Gallia once again, and then the Xerath to round out our draft. How are we feeling here?
I think you guys cleaned up your draft a little bit, honestly, with disengage and engage. I guess it's majority disengage and poke, right? I do still think that Stoner Nation's draft is pretty decent, especially since like they didn't get the Echo this time, or you guys didn't take it, but Galio is still a good champion in 2 Xerath.
Right.
I assume that you guys played through bot here, no?
Well, we'll have to see when we jump into the score screen. The idea here, I wanted a little more agency in the top lane, so instead of being Ornn, I want to be Garen, so I can at least fight someone in the lane. If I'm picking Garen, third pick red, I know I don't want to face Camille or Kale, because both of those champs are very annoying. But we'll jump into the score screen and see how this went. And as they're calling out in the chat, it was indeed a little bit of a party in the top lane. Stone Nation did pick up the victory. Duck Butter Toast playing very well, 9-1-6, just playing out of his mind for that game. Flame also getting quite big, 9-5-6, 333 CS. But listen, we ended up, it was like a fight. Like Flame and I would be fighting, and then Pharaoh and Kiana would show up, and then also Killer and Worthy Dust would show up. So it was just like 2 to 3 man top a lot of the time, which I wasn't really planning on. I kind of thought they would play around bot more, and I was hoping we could get console C ahead. But wasn't how it played out. And anytime I felt like I was actually gonna have a fight with Flame and I could kill him, or kill anybody really, I would then have Keanu ulting over a bush onto my face as fiddlesticks, so I couldn't actually kill people.
Gotta love fiddlesticks.
I'd be like, oh, I got him. I'm gonna Q him. I'm gonna E. Let me kill him. Oh wait, I'm feared.
That's the real struggle, though.
But what's a very well played series by Stone Nation. Definitely well deserved on the victory. You see, they got 2 Barons, got the Elder Soul, and we only got one of the Rift Heralds. So they definitely had control of these games, had very good drafts, and outplayed us in these games. So good job to them. And Flame, you're good. We're gonna have to make you more expensive, my friend.
Another
Just
salary
kidding.
increase.
Just kidding. But well played to you guys. And with that, those were all the games from week number 8. So here are the current standings. The one thing you might notice is, did I not update this? I might not have updated this. It's fine. Well,
Everyone's tied.
yeah, there's a lot of ties. Basically, we know Ultra Lords are set for first place. We'll talk about it more in the following screens, but I'll just go through this one real quick. We basically have 3 teams where we know where they're going to be at, and we have the other 9 that are kind of in this limbo area where we're pretty sure where they're going to be, and the other 6 could be anywhere from 6th to 8th, or they're going to be out. So we can look at that. Ignore this screen because I didn't update it. My mistake. We'll look at next week's games first though, because we'll see who's playing who, which in some ways is very important.
Oh, so, the Battle of the Titans once again.
Yeah, Clash of the Titans, Titan Gaming Mox versus Titan's Wrath. This one very important. Titan Gaming Mox sitting at 4-4. Titan's Wrath sitting at 3-5. So Titan's Wrath really wanting a win there. If Titan's Wrath wins this series, they have the divisional score over Kraken Slayer. So if they win out, if they win this week, they automatically get the 4th seed. So very important for Titan's Wrath, as well as Titan Gaming Mox just wanting to make it as high up as they can in the playoffs. Velocity versus Kraken Slayers. Both of these teams are sitting at 3 wins. So both teams need a win. They want to get themselves in the best opportunity to make it into playoffs. So a must win for both sides. Donger Squad versus Night Raid Owls. Donger Squad is guaranteed to be third no matter what. But if Night Raid Owls wins, they have maybe a 5% chance of making it into playoffs if a lot of other things go right for them. They're probably out, but they could potentially make it if we look at everything, which is a lot, and I didn't. So I'm gonna say they have a small chance of making it. For Stone Nation versus Bomber Bros, another one where both teams want to win. Bomber Bros have the 4 wins already, so if they win, they'll probably get 6th or 7th. Stone Nation needs a win, most likely, if they want to make it in playoffs. Even if they didn't, depending on what happened, they could maybe get 8th anyways. So it kind of depends there as well. For Ultralords and Go Kings, the potential number 1 seed versus potential number 2 seed. We already know Ultralords are going to be number 1 no matter what. Go Kings, if they win, are guaranteed number 2. If they don't win, depends on how the Los Tomatas game goes. And then the final series, HYG versus Los Tomatas. HYG is out. They only won one of the series. Los Tomatas is tied with Go Kings at 6 and 2, 5 and 2, 5 and 3, wherever you guys are at. You guys are tied. So if they win and you don't, they can take it. But if Go Kings loses and they win, they take it, I believe. So a lot of important games as far as seeding for the playoffs this final week. So we'll look at what we do know and what we potentially know in these next couple of screens. And if you have any random questions, toss them out in the chat. I'll try to answer them. I tried to look at a lot of what could happen, but there was a lot of variables, and I didn't want to spend more than like a couple hours looking at it.
Any questions, sir?
But here's the stuff I at least know for sure. So, first seed will be Ultralords. Third seed will be Donger Squad, and HYG is eliminated. Those are the only for sure known placements going into playoffs in this final week.
I gotta say, Ultralords definitely deserved it. They've been playing really good every week.
Yeah, they've been killing it. It's kind of funny. The first time I think they lost a game was against Kraken Slayers, despite them then killing it in Game 3 and just destroying us to take the series. That was also when we were fully defeated. We hadn't won a game yet at that point. So despite them being undefeated, they still dropped a couple games. So they're not looking untouchable, but they've been playing very well and obviously are still undefeated to this point.
Yeah, they deserve it.
But here we'll jump into all the unknowns, which is a little more in depth. I also listed out here, you can see the tiebreakers for whenever people do tie. First goes the head to head. Second is the division record if you're in the same division. And then third is most individual games won. So a lot of, if there's a big 4-way or 6-way tie in this bottom half of the screen, might come down to individual games won or just the head-to-heads. But for guaranteed second place and fifth place is Go Kings and Los Tomatas. They're in the same division, so one will get second and one will get fifth because they both done very well. I believe, Beard, am I right? You're both sitting at 5 wins.
I believe so. Yeah.
Yeah. So they both have 5 wins. If Go Kings win, then I think you're guaranteed second.
I think we're at 6 wins.
Yeah,
Six and
Go,
two.
Go Kings are at 6. Los Tomatas is at 5 wins. So if you win, you're guaranteed second. if you lose, then you need Los Namadas to lose. Otherwise, they'll overtake you because they have a better division record and they tied you in the head-to-head. Over on the right side for Night Raid Owls, they're sitting at 2-6. So if they win this week, they can get the 3-6. And if both Bomba Bros and Titan's Wrath lose, I think they can get it to where enough other teams are at 3 wins. Or I think Night Raid needs Titan's Wrath and Bomba Bros to win, so every other team is sitting at basically 3 wins, and they can maybe make it in, but it's a very small chance where they're probably out. But if they win this week, they're at least potentially set up for a weird situation where they make it. On the bottom half of the screen, Titan's Wrath and Kraken Slayers are in the same region as Night Raid Owls. Titan's Wrath has the division record over Kraken Slayers, and we're tied in the head-to-head. So we're both at 3 wins. If either team wins, well, if Titan's Wrath wins, they're 4th. If Titan's Wrath loses, but Kraken Slayers wins, then Kraken Slayers will be 4th. And then past that, we've got Bomber Bros and Titan's Wrath at 4 wins. And then the other 4, Stoner Nation, Titan's Wrath, Kraken Slayers, and Velocity at 3 wins. So all these teams have the potential to tie, where we could have a 5-way tie because a lot of these teams are playing each other. Kraken Slayers are against Velocity, Stoner Nation's against Bomba Bros, and Titan's Wrath is against Titan Gaming Mox. So there's the potential for a 5-way tie, where then it just depends on how the tiebreakers play out for who would make it. So
I gotta say, this is a crazy competitive season.
6, 7, and 8 are all very contested, and it very much depends on how this coming week goes. And I'd kind of graphed out the potential for this whole week. I was looking at it for a couple hours. This is all the possibilities going from 1 to 64 as far as which teams can win versus can't win, and you see kind of from this 5 to 3 range, it's all very very close and a little wild.
You've lost me. I'm lost, homie. You pulled out graphs. I can't follow.
I'm just doing the analytics for us, but essentially any of these teams on the bottom can make it in the playoffs. It just very much depends on what happens in all the different series. So just play and win, and you've done your best.
Yeah. Good luck, teams.
But with that, we're basically set for looking at everything. Everybody good? Anybody confused in the chat? You need any confirmations of anything or any comfort from us before we sign off?
I wasn't confused till I saw that graph.
I know, right?
Here, I'll confuse everyone again.
No. Put it away. Put it away. Take it away. Delete it.
Well, you can look at the easy parts where you say, "Oh, look, Ultralords are up here. They're gonna make it."
I didn't even know that was Ultralords, homie.
Yeah, they're right there. Ultralords.
It's one shade off of every other red in there.
You just gotta be better at colors.
Okay.
But yeah, thank you everyone for watching. Definitely check out. I believe we're gonna stream this week the games between Ultralords and Goat Kings because it's the potential number 1 and number 2 matchup. So check out those games live tomorrow, and we'll then have a 2-week break between the end of the normal season and the start of finals. During that break, I'm planning to try to stream some of the older games. People have been asking how Kraken Slayers won in week number 7, so I'm going to try to stream that game. If there's any other really close series or just hype series, let me know. I'm off these next 2 weeks, so I can try to get as many series streamed as I can. Just hit me up. But we appreciate you all, and we will catch you next time. Goodbye, everybody.
See ya.
I never thought hide is essential. They're crude and unspeakably plain. Maybe they've a gleam of potential. If I lied to my vision and brain. Know that your powers of retention are as what as a warthog's backside. As sick as you are, pay attention. My